I'm Sonia and I help people take their power back. And I am randomly going live. I wasn't planning on going live again, but I decided to go live. I got a comment that I wanted to talk about, and I just see if anybody wanted to come jump on here and hang out for a little bit. But I got a comment asking me if I mindlessly affirm or if I put focus on my affirmations when I robotically affirm. The way that and this isn't just like throwing at this person, this is just in general, the way that people make this complicated is fascinating. And I used to do this shit too. So, like I said, it's not a judgment, it's just we make this shit so fucking complicated when it is not complicated. It is extremely fucking simple. If you are focused, if you are thinking about an affirmation, even if it is mindlessly, you are putting your focus on it, and that is what you're focused on. The fact that you are choosing to affirm means that's what your focus is on. There's no such thing as mindlessly affirming. You may not be sit there totally focused on what the affirmation means or whatever. It can kind of just be in the back of your mind, but you're still choosing to focus on it. Please stop making this so fucking complicated. Please stop coming up with all the ways that it's probably not going to work or that you're not doing it right, and just focus on having what you want. Am I thinking a thought that I want to become true? Yes or no? No? Okay, then I want to think this instead. It's literally that simple. Stop making this so complicated. Stop making up reasons that it's probably not working, and just tell yourself you have what you want, whether you're completely focused on it or not. Are you bitching, whining, moaning, and complaining? Or are you telling yourself that you're getting or that you have what you want? That things are working out for you? It's literally that simple. Literally that simple. Hi guys, how are you doing this morning? Anybody have any questions? I randomly decided to come live today, so just thought I'd hang out for a little bit if anybody has any questions. And if not, then I guess that was my video, I don't know, just thing that I needed to talk about this morning. Because currently my YouTube videos are scheduled and finished through May. So any topics that I get now will be talked about in like June. So some things come up and I just want to talk about them. So I'm like, I'll talk about them on a live. Hi, welcome back. Why someone we keep affirming positive side mental diet is on point, still things don't show up after months. What could be the reason? That you're noticing that they haven't changed in months. So you're wavering and your mental diet is not on point. Hi, Tina. I'm glad to be live too. I missed going live. It was a whole thing, and I didn't go live for a long time, and I've really enjoyed coming back and being live with you guys. So I'm planning on doing it more. But yeah, if things haven't changed in months and you're focused on that they haven't changed in months and they're not changing, your mental diet is not on point. You're fucking lying to yourself. So you need to pay attention to what you've actually been telling yourself, because the law is always working perfectly. Hi, Victory. Glad to see you too. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to start scheduling lives again or if I'm just going to go live when I feel like it, but I am planning on going live more, so. And I've got some stuff planned that I'll be going live more, and they're in the beginning stages of planning. We'll just put it that way. I stumbled across your content last month, and I want to say you filled in the missing pieces of the how and the why for me that I didn't understand before. Thank you. Lorianne, oh my god, that's awesome. I love that. I love that I get to be that person for people, because man, I remember being that person of like, I just don't, like, I get you, but I don't get you. Something's not there, and then to find that person that makes it click, I love that I get to be that for you. Ah, yay. Sonia, I manifested a new job. How do I turn it into my dream job? You tell yourself that it's your dream job. think about having your dream job. And don't get caught up on that you're turning this job into your dream job. You have your dream job, and whatever has to shift around you to prove you're right is going to shift around you. So if that means you lose this job or get offered a new job, or whatever the problem is with this job just goes away and turns into your dream job, whatever you're focused on has to be proven to you to be right. And the fact that you're like, I need to turn this into my dream job, is you focusing on not having your dream job. So the same way you manifested the job, you tell yourself it's the dream job. How fast affirmations work, by the way. Let's say I'm saying SP loves me. How fast will that strike in her mind and change? You are not in control of the time. You are in control of what you're thinking. That's it. Let the rest of this shit go and don't worry about it. You don't think it's going to fucking work. So it's not going to. Because you won't just tell yourself that you have what you want. You're welcome, Tina. You're not going to know when or how shit's going to change. But the more you're focused on that it doesn't change and how fast will it change and this probably isn't going to work, that's what you're focused on. That's your belief, and that's what you're going to experience. So glad to catch you live. I understand most and got a lot already, but can you clarify mental diets, or is it just thoughts in your favor? Your mental diet is just the thoughts that you're thinking throughout the day, making sure that you're not allowing yourself to think thoughts that you don't want to become true. I've been trying to manifest a blue ant the last few days, and I got a blue bee yesterday, and I got a lot of ant acronyms everywhere, but no blue ant yet. I know it's coming though. Yeah, it is coming. When you start seeing the blue animals, it's coming. When I did that came up on a live, and I started doing it, and everything was blue. I started seeing blue animals. I was like, oh yeah, the blue ant's coming. And then had the TV on, was like watching cartoons, fell asleep. Jax woke me up, and I look at the TV, and there was a blue ant on the TV. And I was like, well, there you go. There you go. Anymore, I don't think of it as a mental diet. I don't think of it as these are good thoughts, these are bad thoughts, these are affirmations, these aren't affirmations. I have made it as simple as, is this a thought I want to keep thinking and want to become true or not? If it's not, I pretty much just go to Isn't It Wonderful, because I'm too lazy to come up with other shit. I find it a bit hard to replace the old story in between. I go back to that. I try my best not to think about it. What can I do to not go back to the old story and keep mental diet? You understand that your brain is always going to think. You understand that that is how your brain fucking works. You are always going to just randomly think thoughts. And as long as you're afraid of the old story rearing its head, you're focused on the old story being a problem. You accept that your brain is going to think, you allow it to come up, and when it comes up, that's when you shift your focus. You tell yourself, that's fucking stupid. I no longer accept that is true. This is what's true, and you get back to it. You need to practice with shit you don't care about. You do not understand how this shit works. I don't think you believe that it works, honestly, from your comments. You don't believe it's going to work. You don't understand how it works. And until you're willing to try it with shit and show yourself how it works and that you're making this way more complicated than it needs to be, you're going to continue to be stuck in this loop of it not working. Because that's what you believe, and the law is always working perfectly. What are the simplest things to say to yourself to change your money mindset and manifest money? That you have money. And stop bitching, whining, moaning, and complaining about money. You don't accept what you no longer want to be true about money. When you pay bills, you no longer bitch about paying bills, because if you had money, you would just pay the damn thing. I've been affirming I always get everything I want. A friend I haven't spoken to in 5 months messaged me and got a free ticket to a concert. Thoughts on general affirmations. That's what I use the most anymore because I'm too lazy to come up with affirmations. My go to is, "Isn't it wonderful? Everything's perfect." Your videos are there for me when I am frustrated and need a boost. Thanks for your hard work. Oh, you're welcome, Holly. I enjoy making my videos, so it's not hard work for me. It's really not hard work for me. I don't plan my videos. I have an idea, kind of like a vague title. I hit record, I talk, and I post it. I rarely even edit my videos. I need you guys to understand that whatever you tell yourself is true is true. That is the law. And all manifestation is the same. So if you manifest something and you know you manifested it, so take the job example. I manifested my job. Now I want it to be my dream job. Well, the way you manifested the job, you do the same thing, but tell yourself it's the dream job. Same thing with money. You stop thinking the thoughts that you no longer want to be true about money, about your job, about your relationship, about manifesting. When it's not the problem that you're thinking them, that your brain thinks them automatically, because your brain is designed to think. It's what it does. But once you catch yourself, you correct yourself and you shift your focus. I no longer accept that, and that's no longer my experience. This is what is true. But if you catch yourself thinking those thoughts and you accept them as true, guess what you're going to get more of? Because the law is working perfectly. I've also been affirming that I'm amazing at guitar, and yesterday somehow my skill jumped up so much. Same with lucid dreaming, being able to eat anything, and so on. See, people ask me about skills all the time. All the time. I've noticed that with things too. When I've said I'm not good at this, or this is hard, or I don't know how to do it, or this would never work, I'm always proven right. And even when I catch myself, like, I don't allow myself to think that shit anymore. If I want to do this, I can do this. This is easy. I figured it out. And guess what? I'm proven right. I love that. And I've heard a lot of people doing that with skills. No, I'm really good at this. No, I'm good at this. I mean, I know what I'm doing. It's literally that simple. It's literally that simple. The problem is that you don't think you have control over your brain, but you do. And it's not even about controlling your brain completely. It's about presence. Where is my focus in this moment? What am I telling myself and accepting as true in this moment? Do I like this? Then keep thinking it. And if you don't, change it. My cat's also friendlier and cuddlier. I got so many success stories from last week. It's crazy, but I'll stop listing them. I love that it's all from last week. How do you get the religious guilt out? The guilt as it comes to manifesting people. I can't speak on that because I have never been a religious person. So I can't tell you how to do that. The person who does speak on that I know would be Nikki. Oh god, I don't even know what her channel is anymore because she's changed the name of it so many times. I would say if you go to Flossie's channel, so Your Thoughts Create, she probably has a link to Nikki's channel. It used to be, what did it used to be? I don't even remember. And I don't have my computer. Does anybody know who I'm talking about and what Nikki's channel name is? It was like Manifest For Me, but I think she changed it since then, and I don't know what it is. But the thing about manifesting people is Yeah, I think Flossie probably has it because they're friends and they do stuff together, or at least they were. So I'm assuming that they. But yeah, she talks about that. The thing about manifesting people is you're doing it anyway. Everything is a manifestation. Everything is what you tell yourself that it is. Whatever you think about people is true. So if you go, "Oh my god, that person's such an asshole," you're right. They're an asshole, and they're always going to be an asshole. Thus, you manifesting them being an asshole. You're doing it anyway. What is the biggest thing you've manifested? My mental health insanity. I understand that, but there's still guilt about the good stuff. And that is something that you need to look within yourself of why you feel guilty about good things happening to you. You are worthy and deserving and lovable because you exist. If that makes you uncomfortable, you need to figure out why and shift that within you. And it can just be as easy as I deserve good shit. I love when affirmations become automatic and you catch yourself repeating the new thoughts on autopilot without trying. Yeah. That's the fun part of it. And I'll tell you, when I first started affirming, I didn't understand that that was going to happen. I had no idea what I was in for. And I woke up one morning and they were just playing in my head and I was like, holy, like it scared me. Holy shit, what the fuck is going on? Oh, those are my affirmations just being my automatic thoughts. The way that you have automatic negative thoughts, you will start to have your affirmations on autopilot. And it is when you first notice it, you're like, whoa. I have things now where it's like, oh man, that affirmation's just in there now. Huh. It's fun. Now it's not as scary though, because it's like, yeah, that's just part of what happens. That's why you're affirming them, is to create the belief in them, which means they're going to be your automatic thoughts. When you believe something, that's just your go-to thought about it. The sky is blue. You're not questioning if the sky is blue or if the sun comes up in the morning. Like, that's just the way it is. And that's what you think about it. And where my mindset is now compared to where I started with my mindset, I never thought my mindset could be what it is now. But it's just my default mindset now. Is it possible to become more athletic and good looking by using manifestation? I mean, I work out 3 times a week at the gym, eat quite healthy, etc. Do you believe it's possible to do this with manifestation? This is your reality and is going to be a mirror back to you of what you believe. If you don't believe that manifestation could do that, then you're going to be proven fucking right, no, regardless of what I tell you. This is something that you need to ask yourself. But in my experience, whatever you tell yourself is true is true. So if you're like, I am ugly and look hideous and am not athletic and am just never going to be strong enough, you're fucking right. And will always be right. How much affirmations we should say in a day? How many times roughly? As much as you are thinking about the topic, you need to be affirming. I don't have a manifestation routine. This is where you practicing with shit you don't care about is going to answer those questions for you and how much you need to do it in order to get results. How much I do it is irrelevant to you. And so it's so empowering realizing it's just your thoughts, right? It was a lot when I realized that. Like in the beginning, when I realized, like really grasped it, I was like, oh shit. But now it's like, yeah, I'm so glad it's just my thoughts. Finding this knowledge is like winning a lottery ticket. I agree. I absolutely agree. Once you truly get it, it's like, yay. Do you autopilot affirmations become 3D now? I don't focus on when shit's gonna come in my 3D. I have what I want now because all that exists is an eternal now. Whatever I'm telling myself is true now, regardless of the 3D. But if you're gonna wait on the 3D to give you validation that what you're thinking is true, you're never gonna get anything to change because you're basing your experience off of old bullshit. And your old bullshit's always gonna win. Yeah, affirmations are really good for me also. It is the thing that has changed my life the most. Whole life I've been way too negative. Those thoughts were basically automatic. Since LOA, I've been much better, but if I feel bad, I give myself a day off to let it all out and then get back to it. So I don't feel like I'm forcing it when I feel bad. Yeah, see, you got to find what works for you. If you just need to take a break when you feel bad, do it. I had a lot of trauma from my law of assumption or not law of assumption, law of attraction coach about feeling your feelings and shit. So I affirm through my feelings. I don't give a shit how I feel. I'm affirming anyway. But that's what works for me. Yes, no, past or future, just now. Exactly. It's just now. All that exists is now. All that will ever exist is now. What you tell yourself now is true. If you are looking outside of you for proof of that, you are basing your experience off of past bullshit. Can even revise the past. Exactly. Exactly. Recently found you. Can I just say thank you? I have felt intuitively everything you taught in the Manifesting 101 series. It's very refreshing to hear it put so succinctly and to the point. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad that you found that helpful and to the point. That was kind of the whole point of me wanting to do it. It actually started, I don't even remember when I wrote it. I wrote it down. I don't know if it was for me or if it was supposed to be, I don't know. I just wrote down like all the terms I could think of, and it really is as easy as your thoughts. It is. And once you see it, you can't unsee it for what it is. But when I was doing Manifesting 101, I wrote it all down. I don't know. I was thinking about starting a blog. I don't know what I was doing, but I wrote it down and then just like set it to the side. And then it was in November. I wanted a bunch of TikTok video ideas. I wanted to take like a week off of filming and was like, man, I post like 5 times a day. I'd need 35 videos. That's so much content. What would I do? And instead of allowing that to be my mindset, I was like, no, I have plenty of ideas. I don't have to film. I have plenty of ideas, even though I didn't have ideas and I did not think I could come up with 35 ideas. Like I was like, oh my God, I that will never happen. Nope, I have the ideas. I have the ideas. I have the ideas. Couple hours later, I'm like, why don't you go through that manifesting 101? I don't even know if I called it that. Just like go through all those terms and make videos on them. I was like, well, there you go. That's an idea. And literally ended up with 37 videos that I posted on TikTok. And then in December, I was like, why don't you just put them on YouTube? And that was where that came from. How to persist when the 3D is showing circumstances that don't seem favorable. You realize that you are the one labeling your circumstances. Your 3D is all neutral events. You are the one labeling them as unfavorable. So you are the one deciding that are circumstances that are more powerful than you and that you aren't getting what you want because you're basing your assumptions off of what you logically think you are experiencing. Until you realize that and realize that this is all you creating your own problems, you're going to continue to be in an unfavorable situation where you don't get what you want. So you bring yourself back to telling yourself, I get what I want. I have what I want. This is me getting what I want. This is a blessing in disguise. This is me getting what I want. But you're the one deciding that you're not getting what you want. And it's a perfect manifestation. So when you don't get what you want, you'll know why. Because that's what you were telling yourself was going to happen. Someone told me they have a pessimistic mindset, and I wanted to shake them and send them to your channel ASAP. Any advice for helping people in our lives thinking positively? You assume they think positively. Literally, that's all you do. Oh my God, they are so positive. They are the most positive person. They're the most positive person. The only thing to change is self. Every circumstance is leading to your manifestation. That. You have to adopt that mindset. If I have decided that this is what I am getting and I am focused on that being my reality, then whatever the fuck is happening around me is me getting what I want. Every circumstance is leading you to your manifestation. And if you're sitting there telling yourself that it isn't, that is a choice that you are making. You are telling yourself you're not getting what you want. Gonna nail that phrase into my head, laugh out loud. Yep. If you are saying this is not working, this can't possibly be me getting what I want, it's because you're being literal, you're being logical, and you have a set of rules and expectations and a storyline that you think has to play out in order for you to get what you want. Holly recently did that with a friend. She knows about LOA, but still complained quite a bit about something. I told myself she is going to snap out of it, and a couple of days later, she did. See? It's all about changing you. People are whoever you think they are. If you decide that they're more positive, You're the Shining analogy about the 3D was wonderful. That movie scared me as a kid, and now I can look at it with a different mindset. That's actually not about the movie. The movie is a whole different beast. If you've never read the book or the miniseries, that's what I was actually speaking on. The movie, I love the movie too, but that's a completely different topic. But I'm glad that you enjoyed that, and I'm glad that it was helpful. Because that is what that whole movie, the book, well, miniseries, the book, is about, basically, is Danny's in a haunted hotel. He has this very, I don't know, whatever, he has The Shining. Hi! And the whole thing is, don't allow things to become real to you. Don't accept them as real. They're not real until you decide that they are. And once Danny decides that they're real, oh, are they real? One thing, what do you think I should do when I miss my SP? Like, I miss his presence and I want to text him knowing I shouldn't because we're no contact. You imagine having the conversation with him in your head. They're not separate from you. If you want to have a conversation with them, you can imagine having a conversation with them right now as if they're standing in front of you. You're the one who thinks that the only reason it could be, or the only way that it's real and that it's doing anything, is if you are physically doing it in your 3D. Your imagination is your true reality. Whatever you tell yourself is true is true. You can have that conversation with them in your imagination and leave the 3D alone. Oh my God, creepy bathtub lady will haunt me forever. That's the whole point, right? That's when it becomes real to Danny. The scare, you know, the fear, the holy shit, that's not a picture in a book. Dick lied to me. That's fucking real, and I'm real fucking scared. And then all of a sudden it was real. Your videos help me to believe again. Yay! That's awesome. I'm glad that they helped you. I'm so grateful that my whole shit show of an experience and everything I've been through can help other people. It means the world to me. I love that you're so straightforward. Like I came to your channel whenever I need to cut out the BS I'm doing and get real and strict. I'm glad that that worked. I'm so glad I can be that person. I found a lot of people that cut out the bullshit, but I just was like, I feel like there's a simpler way to talk about this topic. There's just a simpler way to explain it to people. And that I'm so grateful I get to be that person for you guys. Because it is that simple. It really is that simple. And like I say all the time, once you see it, you can't unsee it. You can't unsee it. What are your favorite channel growth affirmations at the moment? Your growth right now is insane. I don't care about my channel growth. I just say that my message reaches the people who need it. Honestly, I never thought I'd reach 1,000 subscribers. And the fact that I did now, like I don't care about the number at all. I just want to reach the people that I can I don't even like help as the right word, but I know that what I'm saying can help people, that can make things click for people, and I want those people to find me. Yes, I love the approach too. I was at my lowest point when I found them and really snapped me out of my misery, laugh out loud. Guide, yeah, I think guide is a little bit more. I don't really like calling myself a coach either. I think guide is a little bit more accurate. Do I meditate? What I do is none of your business. Why do you need to know that? Because if you copy me perfectly, then you'll get results. This is your reality. What do you feel about manifestation? Do you need to meditate? Those are way more important questions to ask. Manifesting is like having a genie that never runs out of wishes. It is. It truly is. And I didn't understand that when I first found manifesting. I thought it was like a genie, but you only have 3 wishes. If you don't get it just perfectly, then you fucked it up and you have to live in a world that you don't really want, but you kind of created for yourself and that's it. Yeah, no. No, you have unlimited wishes and you can do whatever you want with those wishes. Whatever you want to be true, you just tell yourself that that's your experience. That's it. And you stop bitching, whining, moaning, and complaining about everything else. How would you deal with an intrusive thought that appears when you try to manifest, visualize, and you say it is true, but the thought is a textile word that appears and say lie or false? I would stop labeling it intrusive. To me, an intrusive thought is like, I want to hurt myself. That's an intrusive thought. So if it's not that, if it is like you're having that kind of a thought, then you need to call for help. Have the hotlines in the description. If it's not that, then it's a fucking thought. And you just choose to not think it anymore. You're making this too complicated. You're giving your brain all the power. Infinite do-overs. It's yeah, literally. Literally. You have infinite do-overs. If you start manifesting something and then you're like, yeah, I really don't want that. Guess what? You just stop telling yourself that that's a thing. You just shift your thoughts. Like, that's it. You're always manifesting. You're always going to be manifesting. That is something that I didn't understand, that I see in a lot of people they don't understand. Like SP, for example. Even or money, whatever, but it's very evident in the SP people. They have this thought process that, oh, well, once I manifest my SP, then it's over and done, and I'm just happy forever. That to me is like the people who see the wedding as the finish line. Oh, we're married, so we're happy forever. You're still going to think and have thoughts about your SP forever. And if you don't learn to control your mindset about your SP, guess what's going to happen? You're probably going to end up getting divorced or breaking up or whatever the fuck because you didn't stay on top of your fucking mindset and everything is a manifestation. The law is working perfectly. The law never lies. It's always a reflection of you and what you dominantly are telling yourself and are accepting is true. Your brain is literally a yes man. Yep. Yep. And you're the one giving it the orders. It's like going to a restaurant and ordering something that you hate, being like, I want this meal. I hate it, but I want that. And then the server giving it to you and you being like, why did you give this to me? I hate this. It's like, because that's what you fucking asked for. And it really is that simple. People have made it so fucking complicated and it's not. That happened when I spiraled prior to knowing manifestation. Oh yeah. Prior to knowing, like once you understand, there's no going back. I truly get why people, refer to the Matrix so often when they're talking about this shit, because it's like, yeah, once you take the pill, you can't go back. You can't unsee it for what it is. You're like, oh shit. Fuck. That was me. The whole time it was me. It's always been a reflection of what I was telling myself. And you get to the point where it's like, okay, because I went through the phase of, being pissed off at the people who gave me the beliefs and like, where did this come from? And then now it's just like, who cares? Who gives a fuck where the belief came from? Do I want to continue to accept it as true or do I just want to drop it? And it literally is that fucking simple. And I know that when you first find this, it doesn't seem like it could be that simple. And that shit seems really hard. And it's hard to just let shit go. And for me, you want to know when shit started to get easier to let go? When I decided I easily let shit go. And that was somewhat recently. I was talking on my videos about how like I was in the car and something had happened and I'm like, I just wish I could let this go. And then I was like, dumbass, all you have to do is tell yourself you easily let shit go. And I was like, oh, yep, I was creating that experience of not being able to let shit go because that was what I was telling myself. It's always working with everything. Whatever you tell yourself is true is your experience and you have to be proven right. It's that fucking simple. I had a realization when spiritual people say the answers are inside you and you are the universe. That's how. Yep. It's all you. Everything is you. Your experience is all you. Every single human being that has ever existed is having a unique experience or had a unique experience. No two people are experiencing the same thing because we all believe things that are different. We all have different experiences that we're playing from. We're all thinking different shit. You can either just live from whatever pops up, or you can decide what you're going to put your focus on. I get these thoughts that my 3SP may get interested in a 3P or get a crush, and this is like an intrusive thought, like it just pops up on its own and it scares me. How do I shut this down? You look at your self-concept and why you think that there is somebody out there that is better than you and would have the attention of your SP. This is you setting yourself up for a 3P. I could not possibly be good enough for this person, so they're going to go have the attention of somebody else. You need to look at you. It's all you. And when that shit comes up, you have to tell yourself, nope, that's not true. And it's not an intrusive thought. It is a fucking thought that is coming from past shit. You can either accept it or let it go. Nope, they only want me. They would never hurt me. They don't want other people. It's us against the world. The fucking end. That is how it is. I've always known I have money, had the money I want, and I always do. When I was poor, I would say, I've always been rich. Money wants me. Those are good ones. Those are good ones. When something bad happens with the 3D, I told myself, doesn't matter, I'm still getting what I want. When I was freaking out and it resolved itself in 20 minutes. Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. It can shift that quickly. When you starve things of the energy, they can change so fucking fast. In the back of my mind, it's like, he's my ex, so of course he'll look out for someone else who isn't me. That's all you. You don't think that you are good enough or that they could possibly just want you. You're expecting them to cheat on you. And until you're willing to look at you and get rid of wherever the fuck that's coming from, it's going to manifest perfectly. They're going to pick somebody else over you because that's what you're expecting to happen. It's in the back of your mind because that's what you believe. That's what you're expecting. So you either accept it and that's what's going to happen, or you correct yourself. It's a fucking choice. Like I said, your brain always thinks. And when that shit comes up, you're going to correct yourself. And this is what I was just saying with the any topic, but SP topic. You're manifesting your SP forever. So if you end up together and you still allow this shit in your head, they're going to end up cheating on you. They're going to pick somebody else over you because that's what you're fucking telling yourself is going to happen. How do you correct yourself? What advice would you give for this? You affirm. I just told you. They want me and only me. They would never fucking hurt me. They choose me. I'm the most important thing in their life. You do not allow yourself to think those fucking thoughts anymore. And if you need to look at you. Why are you thinking them in the first place? Because you're not enough, because you're not worthy, because you're not deserving, you're not chosen. This is coming from somewhere, and until you are willing to take a look at you and figure it out, and you just allow yourself to keep thinking it, don't come crying to me when you manifest them cheating on you. You're creating everything you're experiencing, and you are choosing that they wouldn't possibly want you and that their ex is somehow better or some bullshit. I don't know, whatever the fuck is going on here. I think manifestation is scientifically us being an ultimate dimensional being moving through the higher dimension that reflects in the 3D, 4D. I agree with that. I don't think that our physical world is as solid as we perceive it to be. And with as quickly as I've seen things shift and getting some instant manifestations and shit, it's like, it's not that real. No, like I'm the ex and we're not kind of no contact. It doesn't fucking matter. You're focused on that you're no contact, that this person doesn't want you and that they're going to hurt you. And you're always going to be proven right. So you either correct yourself, which I have told you like 7 times already, or you continue to accept this shit as true, which will be always your fucking experience. So you either change it through repetition of telling yourself that we are happy together and they only want to be with me, or you continue with this bullshit. The choice is fucking yours, and that is all I have to say on this topic. Continue to bitch, whine, moan, and complain, and be a fucking victim in your own goddamn reality, or put on your fucking crown, Become God and tell yourself they only want me because I am the best person for them and we are so fucking happy together. It's a choice. Your story of the coffee mug shit, like, that is gonna start happening in my reality. Yeah, that one was wild. If I'm still having dreams of an old story, doesn't mean my manifestation hasn't, my subconscious has not accepted the new story yet. It means whatever the fuck you think it means, and you're focused on all the reasons that you couldn't possibly have what you want. Oh, I'm dreaming about how it's must not be working, and so I'm not getting my shit. You put the meaning to everything. Your dream is fucking meaningless until you put meaning to it. And you've decided that my subconscious must not be impressed because I'm not dreaming the dreams I think I should be dreaming in order to get my shit. And it's manifesting perfectly. Just tell yourself you have what you want and drop the rest of this bullshit. It goes back to what I was saying in the very beginning of this live. We make it so fucking complicated when all you gotta do is, do I want this to be true? No? Okay, then I'm gonna think something different. Do I want my dream to mean I'm not getting what I want and that I'm really far off from having what I want? No? Okay, then that's not what it means. I have what I want. All that exists is right now. Whatever you're telling yourself right now is true. As long as you don't look outside of you and go, oh, it can't be true because I'm not physically experiencing it. Your imagination is your true reality. What you are telling yourself is your experience. Focusing only on mindset is easier for me personally, and dropping everything else I find tedious or complicated. Yeah, I agree. When I just started focusing on what am I telling myself, what am I accepting is true, that's when it got so much easier. So much easier. And I don't label it and I don't shame it and I don't, it's just like, I don't like this. I'm going to stop thinking it. That's why for me, I like robotic affirmations, especially in the beginning. Now it's different, but especially in the beginning. I know I don't want to think this, so I'm just going to repeat this other thing over and over and over and over again. Finding law of assumption felt like I've been given a second shot at life. Very grateful I found it. Oh, yeah, I felt the same way. Man, finding law of assumption. When I found manifesting, which was law of attraction in the beginning first, I was like, holy shit, I found the answer for that like second chance of like being happy and getting things that I want. This is the answer I've been looking for to change my life. Because I had gotten into personal development before that, and then manifesting came into it in the form of law of attraction. I was like, oh my God, I found the answer. This is the missing piece. This is the key. And then I was like, I still don't get it, and it's still not working, even though that's a whole story. But man, when I found law of assumption, I was so into the law of attraction shit that it was jarring. And it was months before I started to open up to the possibility of law of assumption. But once that idea was in there, it was in there. And oh man, I'm so glad that I found it. And it found me. It came to me when I was ready for it and when I needed it. I think we all start from law of assumption and slowly law of attraction and slowly get to law of assumption. I feel so much better. Yeah, law of attraction was brutal. It was brutal. I think robotic affirmations work best when you doubt because you don't need to force yourself to visualize, and plus you can be on top of your thoughts faster and easier. I agree. Having a set affirmation. I had my general affirmation, isn't it wonderful? Everything's perfect. I call it my safety net affirmation when I'm in the moment and I don't know what to affirm. That's what I'm going to go to. And then having set affirmations for other things that I can just go to changed everything. Anymore, I pretty much only use isn't it wonderful? Everything's perfect because I'm fucking lazy. Hi. Yeah, I agree. Robotic affirming helps to crowd out the unwanted thoughts when you're not used to flipping them initially. Yeah. Oh yeah. I absolutely agree. Thing I wish I would have just done earlier instead of trying to affirm for every area of my life and I want this to, just general. Isn't it wonderful? Everything's perfect. Isn't it wonderful? Everything's perfect. Isn't it wonderful? Everything's perfect. Or whatever general, I love my life. Everything's perfect, or everything's perfect, or I get what I want, or just something to start teaching yourself. I'm thinking something I don't like. I'm thinking this instead. Instead of I'm thinking this and oh my God and all the things and what do I affirm? Keep it simple. Robotic affirmations are a savior. I agree. Hi, Melissa. Yes, my shitty thought struck again with the SP. Oh no! But you know what to do, so just fix it. But I know I can change it by changing my thoughts. So grateful for you. Oh, I'm so glad I could be part of your journey, Melissa. You got this. And those shitty thoughts, they didn't mean nothing. It was just old shit that was like, oh, but remember this? And you're like, yeah, no, I don't. So thanks. Bye. Yep, yeah. And you really don't, just because you had a day or a week where you're like, oh man, I was kind of not really on top of my thoughts as much as I should have been. So it only means something if you decide that it does. It's only a problem if you decide that it is. And if things get a little rocky in your 3D, be like, yeah, I was thinking that shit and the law worked, but whatever. I know, just change the story and focus makes all the difference. It does. I'm in an amazing, secure, loving, committed relationship with my SP. Yep. And your affirmations can be long like that. If you need them to be like a sentence to, fill in all the gaps for you, then do that. You guys, there are no rules to how you choose to think. The only rule is don't think about things going in ways you don't want them to be and don't want them to go. Exactly, time to focus on what I want. Thanks. You're welcome. I'm my SP's wife. I'm my SP's wife is my favorite. I like that one too. I'm married. We're happily married. I'm an amazing wife. I'm an amazing husband. Whatever wordage, doesn't matter. What do you think about the movie EEAAO? I don't know what that is. To be honest, I don't watch a lot of movies. So, is that yeah. Everything Everywhere All at Once is the name. Oh, okay. I was like, is that what you're talking about? That is one of the few new movies that I have seen, and I really enjoyed that movie. I'm like, yeah, that's fairly accurate. Fairly accurate. I thought it was an interesting, like, visual representation. But I enjoyed that movie. It was a movie I don't watch a lot of movies. And I never watched things about movies, but for some reason, I ended up seeing that trailer for that movie and was like, "Oh my God, I need to see that movie. That looks like it's a me movie." And then ended up watching it and was like, "Yeah, that was definitely a me movie." And I'll just tell you now, if you start asking me about like popular culture right now, I'm not going to know what the fuck you're talking about. I like to watch fantasy movies, but relabel them as my reality. Nice. Yeah, that's totally how reality works. I saw something on the TV. I don't even remember what it was. And it was like a realistic movie of like some war or something. I don't know what it was, but it was like, huh, that's interesting. What if people actually were like that? Was the thought that went through my head. And I was like, that's weird. Yeah, the thoughts that just pop up into my brain anymore. I'll tell you, that's the other thing. The more my brain has changed and the more that I have affirmed and the more my brain has shifted to my affirmations, the thoughts that just pop up on their own are are fascinating. They are fascinating, and it really does show you that, like what I was talking about with um video content ideas earlier. When I tell myself that I won't have the ideas or that this is not going to happen or I don't know how to do that, you have the thoughts that go along with that and all the reasons that there's problems and all of that, which is what I was totally used to back in the old times. But now that I know better and I focus on things being the way I want them to be, the thoughts that just pop up are forever fascinating. And it's like, yeah, I would have never had that opinion if I was still telling myself and accepting as true the old bullshit. Like, it's wild. Wild, the difference. And I've heard people talk about automatic negative thoughts. They call them ants. They're like, you have to squish the ants. You will eventually have automatic positive thoughts. I'm to the point now where I don't even pay attention so much to my mindset anymore, my thoughts as much. I pay attention to how I feel. Like in my body. If I feel good in my body, I know my thoughts are good. And if I feel good and I check my thoughts, they're good. When I start feeling off in any way, the first thing I do, what's happening up here? What's happening up here? What's going on? Where is this coming from? And am I going to accept it or reject it? I want that mindset. Expansion. Yeah, it is definitely expansion. I want that mindset. You just keep going. Literally. We have the power over our dreams just like we do 3D. I'm on my way to the auto positive thoughts. Yes, you are. Absolutely. Again, that was part that was part of it that I didn't understand and wasn't prepared for when I started affirming. I didn't truly understand and grasp the whole you can only be in one state of consciousness. What Neville Goddard was like, you have to die to one state and live from the other. I didn't understand that that old version of me was no longer going to be who I was. And that just continuing to come back to telling myself something different was going to change things the way that it did. Somewhere I knew, like, I knew I could feel like this is the answer and this is what I need to do, but I didn't understand what was actually going to happen. And then I started to see it and it was like, oh shit. Yes, I am um, um, yes, I am a maker, and I can always tell when my thoughts what thoughts I have started because I don't feel as inspired. I then start affirming and the inspiration comes. It's fucking nuts, honestly. One of my biggest fears about getting on social media was not having enough content. Started to stray, yeah. When you start noticing it more and more. You're like, "Oh, this is stuff that's not good." But going back to, like, I honestly was so scared I wouldn't have enough content ideas, and those thoughts would start coming up. I don't know what to film. I don't have enough content. I don't know what to say. And I would just be like, "Nope. I always have content. I always know what to say." And I've always been proven right. Maker is in I do macrame, felting, breeding, etc. Aha, okay. Yeah, so you're doing creative things. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's fucking nuts when you stop telling yourself that you don't know what to do. It's nuts. Comforting to know there's always movement behind the scenes for our manifestations. Mhm. There's always movement. You are only experiencing a very small part of what is happening in existence. And whatever you're telling yourself is true is true. If you're telling yourself there couldn't possibly be movement, you're right. I did a video on that topic talking about the Lord of the Rings being the perfect example of there always being movement. All of that happens in an eternal now. But they can't show you the eternal now all at the same time, all of the like 5 or 6 groups of people doing shit, because your brain would explode and you'd be like, this is the stupidest movie I've ever seen. You have to see it in fragments, but they're all doing things at the same time, all moving toward what they want. I know how Neville views the Bible like a guide of manifestation, but in verses. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about this last night. Yeah, I was in the shower, and this is when all the weird things come into my brain. And I know that's true for a lot of people, but I was just like minding my business, and it, I don't know where this thought came to me originally or when it came to me, but when I first kind of started reading Neville and started seeing the Bible in a different kind of way, I'm like, the Bible is like the book for the recently deceased in Beetlejuice. And I'm like, I had that thought, and then that is kind of what it is in a weird way. But yeah, see, that's the shit my brain does. I don't know. Everything is working out for you in the background. Yup. Everything is working out for you in front of your face. The only reason it isn't is because you're deciding that it's not because of whatever you're choosing to tell yourself. You're always going to be proven right. The more that I don't know if accepted that, just came to understand that. I think that is the bigger thing. The more that I came to understand that whatever I tell myself is true was a game changer for me. The 80s movies references, love it. Beetlejuice is one of my favorite movies. I grew up watching that movie as a small child. I watched it all the time. And then I didn't see it for a long time. And then I watched it as an adult and was like, why in the fuck were my parents allowing me to watch this as a small child? I love that movie. I like to paint and draw, and I'll make great comics. Of course you do. Of course you will. Of course, all the things. Coming from 58 years of Christianity and organized religion, the Bible makes more sense now. Coming from someone who was never religious and was like, I don't understand this whole thing, I'm like, oh, I get it now. But first, you gotta say my name, operant power. Oh. The thing I wish I truly would have listened to more people when I first found, like, it's your thoughts and the law of assumption type stuff is it's it's really just what you tell yourself. Have you listened to Iniko? No, I have not. I don't know what that who or what that is. They have really good songs like King's Affirmation. I love that song. Huh. Interesting. I don't get people who say you have to not care about your manifestation. Like, then what's the point in manifesting something you don't care about? Yeah. My brain is obsessive. It obsessively will think about shit. And especially, it's better now and different now, but especially in the beginning. And I was like, just let it go. Just let it go. I remember going to my law of attraction coach a lot. I worked with this bitch over 3 years, and it was always just set the intention and let it go. And it's like, okay, then what? Okay, but I set the intention. Why hasn't anything changed? And it's like, yeah, because I didn't change. If I would have set the intention and then told myself that that's what's true, shit would have changed. But I let it go and just reverted back to my old shit, and then was surprised that my old shit continued to manifest. And it's like, yeah, the law was working perfectly. I was getting reflected back to me what I was telling myself constantly. I'll let go of telling myself that things aren't the way I want them to be, but I'm not going to let go of having what I want. I remember when I used to watch someone who told me to do a guided meditation every night for 30 days, and if you miss a day, you have to try again next month. Oh, those people are lovely. Like, there's something about starting it on like the first of the month, and you have to be in sync with the moon. And the people who kill me are the ones that are like, oh, it's the most powerful day of the year to manifest. You're always manifesting. That was where I would get so fucking confused. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, what? And then once I got it, I was like, oh, I wasted like 5 months. Oh no. Weird manifestation rituals. Yeah, I wasted so much time on shit like that, and it was bad. I hate it. I do too. Laugh out loud. What? Yeah. Now I see it for what it is. It's like these people just want attention. They're like, oh, this will get people's attention. Or they truly believe that that's how it works and it works for them, not understanding how it's actually working for them. Every day is a good day to manifest. I agree. Every second is a good day to manifest. Every second you can tell yourself what you want to be true, and that's your experience. It's that simple. There's no manifesting equals cognitive bias, reticular activating system. Knowing the science gets rid of all the doubts. Yep, I needed the science before, and now I'm like, I don't need science. I just tell myself I have what I want. I say to myself, every day is a perfect day to manifest. Yep. Why do the weeks I spend with a strong mental diet never reflect in my 3D? I can't have a perfect mental diet all of the time. You don't have a good enough mental diet if you're focused on that the 3D never reflects it back to you. You're focused on the 3D never reflecting it back to you. The point isn't to have a perfect mental diet and never think a thought against it. It's when you catch yourself, you bring yourself back. You need to pay attention to what you're actually thinking all of the time, because it's not about having what you want. You are not thinking about having what you want. You're thinking about how it doesn't work. And it's a perfect manifestation. That's what I need you to understand. The law is always working perfectly. You are always getting reflected back to you what you think you are experiencing. The problem is you, never the law. So until you want to take a good look at you, don't expect a lot of shit to change in your life. My coach to say they were a law of assumption coach, but mixed it with law of attraction, but still called it law of assumption. Because it was trendier. They wanted views. That's my guess on that. That's weird. I let go of the word manifest. I'm not using it anymore. It's already mine. I'm not trying to make something happen. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. It's not about manifesting it. It's about choosing it. This is the experience I'm having. I don't care how it looks outside of me. This is me getting what I want. I don't care how logically it looked. I don't care what other people are going to tell me about how it looks. Who fucking cares? This is my reality and I'm getting what I want. Hi, Sonia. If you make a choice now, how to change your thoughts, what I've been thinking negatively, now I'm worried, all the bad stuff have to manifest first. Yeah, that's not how that works. It's not every thought that you think that manifests. It's your dominant state, the thoughts that you come back to all the time, things you accept constantly as true. If you're worried about every thought manifesting, only my positive thoughts manifest. My life gets better and better and better. You need to change that mindset because you're going to be proven right if you continue to accept that shit is how things work. And then all that shit's going to manifest and you're going to know why. Because you expected it to when it didn't have to. Yeah, I hate the whole manifesting it because it sounds law of attraction. I agree. You always make videos on the exact topic I've been thinking about. Blows my mind sometimes. Big fan of your channel. Oh, thank you. I've gotten that from a lot of people. Oh, I was just thinking about that. It's like, yeah, we are all connected. Maximum doing in the 4D, minimum in the 3D. Exactly. Exactly. And I know that was hard for me. That was so hard for me. I was raised on hard work and doing. And to stop doing and imagine instead was that was a habit that had to go, and it was an interesting one to let go of. But I'm really glad that I did. And the more I do it, the easier it is. And the more before I think about doing anything, and if I catch myself thinking about doing, I bring it back up here. What's going on up here? It always starts up here. Everything starts up here. Once you realize that, you're like, oh. People that annoy me are the people that say you don't have to say affirmations. You need to get in the state. Like they don't understand affirming are just thoughts. Oh, I agree. Hi, Moons. I've been having people ask me a lot, what's the states or affirmations, which is better? And it's like, you can't get into a state unless you think, and affirmations are just thoughts. Why are we making this so hard? Your channel was a game changer for me. Yay, I love that. How are you and the dogs? I'm amazing. The dogs are downstairs and they're happy. You don't know what they're doing, but we are doing amazing. How are you doing? If only your dominant thoughts manifest, how do things manifest immediately? Like, I'll think of a yellow Mini Cooper and immediately I'll see one. Because you don't care if you see it or not. You're like, yeah, I'm going to see it. And then there's no thoughts about how that won't happen or that's impossible or this old story or... I truly believe that we are shifting through realities. We could manifest everything instantly. Part of the reason that we don't is because of all of our old bullshit. And partially when I have had those experiences, it's fucking trippy. And I do believe that our brains are only going to give us experiences that aren't going to end up sending us to a mental institution. Thoughts of the person who have what you want. Exactly. That's all you got to do. That's great. I'm doing very well. I found my socks. I was revising yesterday. Of course you did. Of course you did. I knew you were going to find it. Literally, law of assumption can be explained in one sentence, but people just overcomplicate it. Yes, they do. They do. They really fucking do. And I think that as the student, as the one when you're finding it, you overcomplicate it for yourself because you're like, it can't be that fucking simple. It can't be that simple. And it's like, no, but it is though. And once you see it, you can't unsee it for what it is. And then you're like, oh. Sonia, I feel like my brain has no limits. It's because it doesn't. For people that struggle, listen to Mindset Subliminals. If that resonates with you, it helps like crazy. You gotta find what works for you. There's no right or wrong way to do it. As long as you aren't bitching, whining, moaning, and complaining, that's the only problem that you have. See, I love subliminals. A lot of people do. Yeah, because they think it sounds too good to be true. Yeah, that was me. I'm like, I'm just gonna think it. And it's like, yeah, that's yep, 100%. Yeah. It sounds way too good to be true. I'm gonna solve all of my problems by just telling myself I don't have problems. Excuse me. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. You're manifesting all of your problems by telling yourself you have problems. It's a perfect reflection of what you believe is true and what you're telling yourself you're experiencing. Everything works. I agree. It does. And if these complicated things work for people, that fucking works for people. Like, do you. But if you're doing all this weird shit people are telling you to do and it's not working, the reason is because you tell yourself it doesn't work and you don't believe it's going to work and you're not changing the way you're viewing things. I think that's always what happens. Like, our subjective reality is a film and every frame is a reality of their own, and we just choose the realities and we compose our realities like a collage. Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with that. Being in a mindset is addictive, unfortunately. I had to think, do I prefer being comfortable or getting what I want? That is so fucking true. Hi, Sheila. How are you doing? It is so true, though. I was very addicted to my victim mindset. I was so addicted to it. It was so comfortable. It was so normal and just, the way, oh, it has to be this way. I could never have, things could never be different. No, this is just how it is. Yeah, no, it's not. No, it's not. And you're right. It's a choice. Am I going to be comfortable or am I going to focus on having what I want? Nothing is stopping you except yourself because everything is you. Yeah. Yeah? Okay. Jackson! Hold on one second. I gotta go get Jax. Sir, what are you doing? Come here. No, come on. Are your feet muddy? What are you doing? What have you been doing? Are you a bad boy? He's like, I don't know. You don't know what you've been doing, sir? All right, come here. Oh, you are all wet. Oh, I'll say hi to everybody. Oh, say hi. Say hi. I'm up here now. I'm angry that my mom's picking me up. Your wet feet. Yeah. Nothing is stopping you except for you. And I know people don't want to hear that. But it's very true. It's very, very true. The universe is you. I think people think something stops them. Nope, only your thoughts are. Yep. Yeah, and again, once you see it, you can't unsee it. The thing was with revision, I thought there were so many rules and limitations to it, but now I know that I am limitless. And I say this a lot. The thing that helped me with the thing that I learned most from revision was just that. It's like, oh, whatever I tell myself is true. Nothing has to stay being true. I can think about things differently. You're doing good, Sheila. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Jax is doing good. He's been downstairs hanging out with my dad. People also need to stop listening to these coaches who say, make sure your desire is not ego-based. Oh, don't get me started on those people. I have a lot of people coming to me about their ego, and I'm like, what? Just, can you want it? Yes or no? You're thinking about it, so the answer is yes. That means it's possible for you, and who gives a fuck why you want it? Are you wanting to hurt other people? Okay, no, then who gives a shit? You have it to the end. We don't want to be comfortable. Absolutely not. I don't want to be comfortable. I want what I want. Like, that's what I want. Well, we really don't manifest because all things already exist. All we are doing is demonstrating it for our 3D experience. This is old terminology from the 19th, 20th century, but I prefer it. Yeah. I agree. You're not manifesting anything. You're choosing it. Like that, it's that simple. Hi. Yeah, Jax is cute. He's just kind of gurry. He's kind of gurry. He's like, don't pick me up. My adult kids to this day love Beetlejuice. I never watched it. Dang, I was clueless. Yeah, that was my parents let me watch it all the time too. And then as an adult I watched it and was like, I was way too young to be watching this. Holy shit. But I was like, as a small child, I was super into horror and stuff. Excuse you, what are you doing? Get back here. No, come here. Get back here. Okay, I'll be right back. No, sir. Sir. Get back here. What are you doing? I know. Oh, I know. I don't know what you're doing, but you're being a silly boy. Silly, silly boy. But yeah. We're talking about Beetlejuice. Yeah, I was really into like horror stuff as a really small child. And watched all kinds of shit like that. And some of it as an adult, I'm like, what were my parents doing? Comfort zone is where dreams go to die. Oh, that's good. I couldn't agree with that more. It's absolutely true. Absolutely true. We need to stop calling it manifesting. I agree. I agree. I don't really know what else to call it. Choosing. But yeah. I found that calling it manifesting, excuse me, made it sound or made it seem to me like there was some process to me getting it. And the more I dropped looking at it as, oh, I have to manifest this, helped me a lot. Speaking of vision, I made mine 20/20 in a day just by saying I cured it. Nice, of course you did. That is awesome. We can heal ourselves with our thoughts since everything is a manifestation. It's the way the ego stuff is being explained. I agree. There's this psychosynthetic process that occurs as well as an integration. At least this is what I have learned in class as of recently. I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. Jackson, no, you're not going back downstairs. Am I gonna have to give you a cookie for you to stay up here and be good? He's like, ugh. He's like, I didn't know Mom was live. I love Beetlejuice. Yep, Beetlejuice and Nightmare Before Christmas were two of my favorite movies as a child. When someone does bad with us, how could we manifest them to our accept? How could we manifest them to accept their mistakes? I don't want it bad to others, but someone close to me doesn't understand me and keeps hurting me. You keep telling yourself that they don't understand you and that they keep hurting you, and it's a perfect manifestation. So they accept you and they love you. That's the change you need to make. I will have videos on it soon, but I'm working on getting my old videos edited. Nice. Yes, yeah, I would love to see videos on that. The music is really good. I love me some Danny Elfman composed movie soundtracks. And I love the story of how he was in a band and it was what's his name? Paul Rubens wanted Tim Burton to direct the Pee-wee movie and wanted Danny Elfman to do the soundtrack, and Danny Elfman's like, I'm not a fucking composer. I don't know how to do that. And they were like, no, just do it. And he did it. And it's like, thank God he did. I love Danny Elfman. I do too. Oh my God, Sonia, you completely changed my life. I love you so much. Thank you for everything. Oh, I love you too. And I am so glad that my experience helped you, but you're the one who is learning how to make it work for you. I'm the best? Well, thank you. Yeah, I've always been into Tim Burton movies, and I was like, I don't even know, 5 or younger when Nightmare Before Christmas came out, and I remember going to see it with my dad. I was just like obsessed. Have been ever since. Now you're gonna calm down. It's okay that I'm live. He's like, yeah, for now. I can stay live either until my phone runs out of battery or Jax decides that he is over it. Oh, now you're over. He's like, oh, I can be bad and Mom will get off the phone. What are you doing, sir? No, you don't need to do that. OMG, I love Oogie Boogie song. And I will die on this hill, but The Nightmare Before Christmas is both a Halloween and a Christmas movie. So you have to watch it at both Halloween and Christmas. That's the only correct answer. But he always gets what he wants. Yes, Jax always gets what he wants. Always. Him and Precious. My favorite affirmation of this week is this: I get paid to exist and I receive money out of thin air. Those are good ones. I love those affirmations too. I get paid to exist. I get money out of thin air. I'm always receiving money. I don't have to work for money. One of Miss Sheila's, I don't work for money. Money works for me. That's like one of my favorites now. Yeah, I don't work for money. It works for me. So you know the difference between the 5D, 4D, and 3D, and is it important? I The 3D is your physical world. The 4D is your imagination. Your 5D, I don't know what that fucking is, and I don't care. All I do is tell myself I have what I want. And I really don't give a shit about the rest. And it is natural for me to receive things out of thin air is amazing. I love that. I get paid to sleep. That's another good one. Life is easy. Life is fun. All good things come to me. I love that. The other thing I've been telling myself recently is a Florence Scovel Shinn affirmation. I don't remember exactly. She uses it in multiple ways, but she's like, the tide of destiny now turns and all good things come my way now, or something like that. I'm like, I kind of like that one too. When I catch myself being like, oh, like are things changing? Nope, it's turning now. Everything's changing now. The other thing I've been telling myself that has been helpful when I want to catch myself telling myself things aren't changing. No, everything's changed. Everything's different now. It's all about catching what you tell yourself all the time and then replacing it with something different. Yeah, I don't want to experience that anymore, so that's not my experience. Could you please say what significance of the number 111 as I see it frequently? There is no meaning to 111 unless you decide that there is. I don't have the magic answer of what the fuck that means, but you do. If you ask yourself what it means, you will either decide what it means or you'll be led to the answer that you're looking for. For me, when I see shit like that, I just affirm that I have what I want and it means I'm getting what I want. Because I refuse to look up other people's belief system about what they think number 1111 or 111 or whatever means. There is no fact in this world except what you accept as facts. Exactly that. Which is why whatever you tell yourself is true is true. Do you know Hindi? I do not. Oh, you're back again? I got $10 for doing nothing. See? See? It happens all the time. People get money for no reason all the time. Why can't you have money for no reason? Oh, because you don't think that you can. So those opportunities are never going to come to you because you're blocking them from happening because you tell yourself it's impossible. So you have to be proven right. That is the law. It's that simple. When I tell myself I don't have ideas, when I tell myself I can't have the money, when I tell myself this person doesn't like me, like, that's all going to be proven to me to be true. No, I have the money. That bill's paid. I always have more money than I could ever spend. Everyone loves and adores me. I always have amazing ideas. Are going to be proven right. Your affirmations are just thoughts. People need to affirm, I deserve everything I want because I exist. It works wonders. I agree. You are worthy, deserving, and lovable because you exist. You don't need any other reason. And if you still think you do, you need to ask yourself why. Literally, and all it was that I allowed a guy to DM. That's it. Jackson. All right. If you guys have any last questions, let me know because I'm going to have to get off of here because somebody is now angry. Let's play the lottery. Guys will be rich because we are super lucky. We are super lucky and we always win the lottery. Took me a few years to get this to click. I used to get stuck in thinking my affirmations had to be worded perfectly or things weren't going to come true. Oh yeah, I remember that phase of like, oh, is it worded right? Am I thinking it right? Am I thinking it enough? Am I doing it right? Not realizing the only reason that I wouldn't be doing it right is because me telling myself I'm not doing it good enough. And then you're like, oh, crap, that was just me. Took me a while to get there because I don't do anything else. Don't do anything else except let them message me and they give me coins for that. That's funny. You guys are welcome. It was a great Saturday morning. Thank you. You are welcome. It was a lot of fun. Bye. Bye, Moons. What? Now you're calm? I can't discern the fine line between being kind and getting manipulated. Whenever I'm kind, I end up being manipulated. I'm not saying I'm a good person, as I have many flaws as well. You are telling yourself that every time you are kind, you are manipulated, which is a perfect manifestation. Whatever you tell yourself is true is true. You need to look at why you believe that being kind would make it so that you are manipulated. And this very likely could be something that is beyond my scope of expertise and maybe something that you want to look at with a therapist or a professional who has more experience working through shit like that than I do. All I can tell you is whatever you tell yourself is true is true. And if you're going to keep telling yourself that when you're kind, you're manipulated, you're going to be proven right. Bye, Tina. I'm so happy I caught the live. I'm happy we're here too, Shannon. I'm planning on going live more. I don't know if I'm going to schedule them. Like I was saying earlier, I may just jump on here when I feel like it, but we'll see. I have some ideas of things that'll be coming up, and we'll see what happens, but hello, sir. Now you're back? Now you're back? Any last questions for today? Like I said, I don't know when I'll go live next, but I'm planning on going live more, so. Manifest a loving, rich guy. You're in the relationship you've always wanted with the person you want to be with. That simple. Whatever you tell yourself is true is true. All manifestation is exactly the same. That's why I tell people to manifest shit they don't care about. Because if you can manifest shit you don't care about, you can literally manifest anything. That's where I learned the most, was manifesting shit I didn't care about and then looking at it and being like, oh, that's how I did it. This is how I was thinking. This is how I was affirming. And it worked, so it'll work with this too. I feel like my mind tries to fight me the most when I wake up and fall asleep. Any advice? You have to train yourself not to allow yourself to think bad thoughts at those times. Those were my worst times too. When I first did Neville's ladder technique and was like playing with stats, I was like, holy shit. Man, do I fall asleep thinking a lot of shitty thoughts. And I was like, that's a bad habit that I have to break. It's a bad habit that you're allowing yourself to continue to hold. It's a choice. When you catch yourself, this is where for me, having a general affirmation changed everything for me. I'm catching myself. I don't like this. Isn't it wonderful? Everything's perfect. Bye. Bye, Sonia. Have a great week. And I know you'll help a ton of people. Oh, thank you. Have a great week. Yes, to definitely try to think positive thoughts. You don't try, you decide that you're going to. Trying equals failing. I like how Yoda put it. Do or do not, there is no try. To try is to fail. So you're either going to think better thoughts or you're not. How do I manifest someone that I don't believe? I want to be rich, but my reality is I'm poor. You understand that your imagination is your reality. The reason you're poor is because you fucking tell yourself that you are. And as long as you're going to continue to tell that story and look outside of you and be like, yep, I'm still fucking poor, guess what? You're always going to be poor. You decide you're rich and you don't keep focusing on what you don't want to be true. I think one thing helped me was not label things big or small, all manifestations are the same. Yeah. I absolutely agree. All manifestation is the same. If you can think about a penny and manifest a penny, you could manifest $1,000,000. That's why Neville used to teach the ladder technique. If you can manifest by imagining climbing up and down a ladder, climbing up a ladder, you can manifest anything doing it the same way. The only reason you can't is because that's what you're fucking telling yourself. It truly is that simple. It truly is that simple. And I know it doesn't seem like it could be that simple, but it's that fucking simple. Whatever you want to be true, you tell yourself it's true now. And you stop thinking about and accepting all the reasons that it's not happening or that couldn't happen or this obstacle, or you drop all of it. The only reason that any of that's relevant is because you tell yourself that it is. And you're always fucking right. So you are the one choosing all the obstacles and choosing not to have what you want because you are deeming it impossible. Nothing outside of you has an opinion. That's all you. The choice that you are making. So if you want something different, you have to make a different choice. And it's not about perfectly affirming, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. Oh no, my brain keeps thinking I'm poor. I'm thinking I'm poor. I'm seeing I'm poor. I thought I'm poor, so it's not working. No, you bring yourself back to it. Nope, that's not true anymore. This is what's true now. What do you keep coming back to? Because eventually you're going to come back to I'm rich. And it may be before you even see anything change in your 3D. You'll be playing that in your head. And one day it will become your reality because that is how our reality works. It's how it's always worked, and that is how it's always going to work. It's like gravity. You function in your life with gravity in mind, and this is no fucking different. Yeah, also we are always living in the end. That was another one. All affirmations are is thoughts. That's all they are. All affirmations are is a way to live in the end. Telling yourself you have what you want. That's all living in the end is. If you're affirming, I never have money and I'll never have money, you are choosing to live from the end and affirm that you will never have money and you're going to be proven right. That is the law. You are always fucking right. It's a choice that you are making. And as long as you continue to make that same fucking choice, you cannot be surprised when nothing outside of you changes. The law is always working perfectly. Gravity is always working perfectly. It doesn't just work for some people or doesn't work at some certain times of the day. I remember manifesting, climbing a ladder. It was crazy, but I think just assuming will work too. Neville said you should have a whole visualization and write opposite affirmations. Yeah, Neville was like trying to make a whole point about how he was a fraud and like it's proving that he's a fraud or some shit. I don't know. I don't think you have to make it that complicated at all. He said it was to prove that what you say doesn't overpower your visualizations. I've heard that. I've heard other things too, but yeah, I don't think it has to be that complicated. Like, we don't need to do a bunch of techniques because our brain has always manifested perfectly without the techniques. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. Yes, I don't get why some people try to demonize affirmations. They're just thoughts. It boggles my mind. It's crazy. If I want clear clear, scar-free skin, but I say it and then never affirm again. But I didn't really have negative thoughts about my skin, just that I have scars right now. Then you're affirming that you have scars and are choosing that you have scars and will always have scars. Unless you truly believe that the way manifestation works is you think it once and then it's your reality and you never have to think it again, you have to change your mindset through repetition. You tell yourself you don't have scars until that's your experience. And even then, guess what? You're going to keep telling yourself that you don't have scars. If you don't have scars, you're not telling yourself that you do. If you are happily married, you're not telling yourself that you're not happily married, that you hate being single. That's not a thought that's going to come into your fucking mind. So you live from the end now as if you have what you want, meaning that your skin is fucking flawless. And every time you see your skin, it's flawless and beautiful and how much you love it. How lucky you are that you don't have any scars. Because as long as you choose to focus on having scars, you're going to be proven right. You're accepting the past, that whatever happened to give you those scars was real, and you have scars. If you don't have the scars, whatever happened to give you the scars never fucking happened. So when you think about what gave you the scars, that never happened. I don't know what you're fucking talking about. That was a bad dream. I have perfect skin. Whatever you tell yourself is true is true. If you don't believe, if you don't have that mindset of I affirm it once and it's done, you have to repeat it to get it in there. Okay, that makes sense. That puts it in a better mindset. Thank you. You're welcome. That's where people talk about impressing your subconscious. It's not about like making sure it's in there. It's if you don't have the belief system of I set this intention and I know for a fact it's going to happen and I just never think about it again. If you think about it, you have to tell yourself what's now true. No, I don't have scars. That shit never happened to me. I don't know what you're talking about. Also, I remember when I used to believe that I couldn't use negative words for affirmations, and that made me so stressed. Oh my. That made my life a living hell. That kept me from understanding that it was just my thoughts. That kept me in a state of believing there was something outside of me that I had to please in order to get what I wanted. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. If you understand what you mean, that is what you will experience. If I say I don't have any debt, because that was the big one for my law of attraction coach, don't say don't and don't say debt because you're focused on debt. And if you sit there and tell yourself you don't have debt, you're going to end up with more debt. Never made sense to me because if I tell you I don't have any debt, is your assumption, oh my God, she has so much fucking debt, she can't handle it. All I wanted to do was tell myself that, and I spent years trying to come up with a way that felt good to me to say I don't have debt, that didn't have debt or don't in it, and I couldn't fucking come up with one. It's ridiculous. I would word my affirmations in such a weird, complicated wording just to avoid affirmations. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then it was me saying things in such an unnatural way. If what you want to be true is you don't have debt, then just tell yourself that you don't have debt. If you want to tell yourself that you never get sick, you never get sick. If you want to tell yourself that you never fight with your partner, you never fight with your partner. Does not mean we always fucking fight and I'm always fucking sick. Unless that's what you think it means. Words mean whatever you think they mean. They're all made up anyway. You've accepted the meaning of the words as what they mean and is true. Yes, but then I realized that I had many positive things by using negative words. I had manifested. Yeah. You realize that when you're saying, oh, things are always like this, that's manifesting. And if you're saying, oh, I've never had that experience, it's also true. You can word things however you want. They're just thoughts. Word them in a way that's comfortable for you and stop making it so damn complicated. We make it so complicated when it's not. There's no right or wrong way to do it unless you're telling yourself that there is. The only thing to keep in mind and consistently function from is whatever you tell yourself is true is true. Yeah, I remember my old coach used to say that negative words get canceled out by the subconscious and it only picks up the positive ones. Yeah, I've heard that a lot from people, and it's like, it never made sense. It's like, what the fuck do you mean? And then they're like, but your subconscious doesn't even think in words, it's picking up on pictures. And it's like, okay, but the picture of I don't have debt is I don't have debt. It's not I have a fuck ton of debt. So why would it manifest a fuck ton of debt? It just is like, what? No, you have to say that you just have so much money or you're going to get more debt because you said the word debt. It's like, you wonder why it was so complicated and you wonder why it was so hard for me to like shift things. Like, what the fuck? I've heard that a lot, but it made no sense to me. It made no fucking sense to me. I'm like, this makes no, I don't know what. And then as I understood it, it's like, yeah, because it's bullshit. Like, people think the subconscious mind doesn't understand anything. They don't think that it understands anything, and they think it has all this control that it doesn't fucking have. Unless done in a specific way. Oh yeah, exactly. Do you recommend constantly watching your thinking throughout the day, or to relax and not worry so much about negative thinking as long as you don't ascribe too much meaning to them impacting manifestation? My experience, the way that I do it is I stay on top of my mindset 24 fucking 7. I am not allowed to think thoughts that I don't want to become true because I know how shit works. You can do whatever you want and make whatever rules you want to in your reality. This is your experience, but in my experience, I don't allow myself to think shit I don't want to become true. I had to unlearn so many ridiculous things. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's less and less and less now, but I'll still catch myself going to my law of attraction cult day thinking and be like, nope, that's not allowed here anymore. Nope. And I feel like for me, that was the worst part, was unlearning all the bullshit. Everything works in our favor, doesn't matter how we say it. It always becomes real the way that we wanted it. I agree. And that's where that whole this or something better fucked me up so bad too. I was like mortified of, well, then that means I don't know what I actually want. And what if, like, I was afraid of things being better than what I was imagining them to be because it made me feel extremely out of control. Like, I don't know what's good for me, something else does. It was bad. It was bad, but I will say, on the flip side of that, having all of that stuff helped me to realize that being present and catching that shit, that I I didn't have to accept it anymore. And I could think whatever I wanted to in its place. So it ended up being empowering. But yeah, I was in such a bad place when I found like robotic affirming, and when it clicked that it's just your thoughts, and I was a disaster. There are some things that I'm still unlearning, so I get a little worried when doubts come up. Your brain's always going to think. What if you always have doubts? What if that's just part of being human? How are you going to deal with it? Are you going to let the doubts rule your life? Or are you just going to be like, yeah, fuck it, who cares? You're always going to want something bigger once you get what you want right now. You're always manifesting. So, what are the most common law of attraction things that we should be aware of to ignore or remove? Anything that is not whatever you tell yourself is true is true. The rest is fucking bullshit and is a rule made up by somebody that they are then imposing on you and telling you that that is how shit has to be done. That is bullshit. They don't understand what manifestation is, how any of this works, and are trying to pretty much initiate you into their cult. I am right. I figured this out. Follow me. You're God. You're the operant power. You're the one creating your entire experience based off what you're accepting is true and telling yourself is true. All I do is speak from my experience. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. In my experience, the law of attraction people are fucking liars. They are bullshit. They don't understand what they're teaching. Maybe some of them do, but they don't fully grasp how shit works. And I wouldn't listen to anything that they say. That's my personal experience with the law of attraction. Was your coach a popular one? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I know that's weird to like be like, I don't know. I found them through a podcast and just like ran with it. At that point, I didn't find a lot of people with talking about law of attraction on a podcast because I found manifesting through my therapist. My therapist was like, "You need a vision board." And I was like, "The fuck is a vision board?" And I started researching it on YouTube. Like, what is a vision board? Why would I want one? What is it? How, like, I had no fucking idea. And I was led to, The Secret and like that. There's a episode of Oprah where a bunch of the people from The Secret were on it and like watching that. And I was in a really bad place in my life and I was grooming dogs all day alone in a room. And I listened to podcasts and found a podcast. And eventually it was probably about 6, 9 months. I don't think it was a year of listening to the podcast, being like, well, I guess I just need to hire a coach, work with this person, and maybe what they're saying will make more sense. And it was over 3 years later when I realized they were teaching a lot of bullshit. And that it wasn't so much coaching as it was a cult. Now, I don't know if that was their intention, but that is what they created, whether they knew it or not. Everybody in that group was all about, oh, I wonder what the coach would say about this. I had no fucking idea. None. And when I found the law of assumption, I had gotten into doing tarot readings in 2020. And in 2021, like the end of 2021, wanted to start doing tarot readings. I knew that tarot went in with manifesting. I didn't understand like what I was trying to do, but I just got on TikTok. I quit my job as a waitress and was like, I'm going to get on TikTok and do tarot readings and become a tarot reader. And it was while I was on TikTok, playing on TikTok, that someone came up talking about the law of assumption and specifically SPs, manifesting an SP. And it was so against what I had been taught in law of attraction and what everyone was saying. And you can't, manifest people. And it just blew my mind. And part of me was like, yeah. And part of me was like, I can't accept this because my coach would say otherwise. But it was in there. And once it was in there, I started questioning my coach. Okay, but, and not like to their face, but in my head. It's like, okay, because it was group coaching. So I saw them with a bunch of people. And I just started questioning shit. It's like, okay, but if you're wrong and this law of assumption thing is right, riddle me that one, Batman. And things just kept happening. And I ended up finding Naya through tarot when she was still doing tarot readings. and then started watching her videos on manifesting, and she led me to Sammy Ingram, who's the one that made it fucking click for me. And from there, it was just me trying to understand, doing, robotic affirmations, and literally just going on the roller coaster of figuring it out, like enjoying the ride, even though I didn't realize that's what I was doing at the time, but I just kept going. Looking back, it all unfolded perfectly. Even my time in that group ended up being beneficial. But whatever you tell yourself is true is true. You're creating your entire experience based off what you're accepting is true. Anything else is only a thing because of you. We are limitless even when we think we are not. Yeah. Yep. And the more you see it, you can't unsee it. And the more you accept it for what it is and practice, it's crazy. I remember I watched your video about being limitless and it clicked for me. I love that. It's as simple as your limiting beliefs are just the thoughts that you are telling yourself and accepting as true that tell you yourself you can't have what you want, and it's bullshit. It's all bullshit. The only reason it's a thing is because you're telling yourself that it is. Also, when you say whatever you tell yourself is true, and that clicked for me and made it a lot simpler. That's what worked. That was the shifting point when I realized that it's like, oh, it really is just whatever I'm telling myself is true is true. That's where it's like all I have to do is be aware of what I'm telling myself and accept it or reject it. And I don't have to know exactly, like I've said, you don't have to know exactly what you're going to shift it to. It can be a blanket affirmation. Isn't it wonderful? Everything's perfect. The answer will come to you. Excuse me. So sometimes limiting beliefs feel hard to get past. How do you eliminate them? Just wondering. You tell yourself they're bullshit and you replace it with something else. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. They'd never hire me. No, they hired me. They hired me. That's my job. They would never love me. Why would they love me? I'm not pretty enough. No, I am so beautiful. They worship the ground I walk on and can't stand to be away from me. Whatever you tell yourself is true is true. So if you keep telling yourself that those limits are true, that will be your experience. I used meditation. Yeah, meditation, when I started just allowing myself to be aware of my thoughts, helped me realize what thoughts actually were and helped me shift them when I wasn't meditating. It's all about awareness. You can't change something you're not aware of. And once you become aware of it, you can accept it or reject it. And once you decide that you're no longer accepting it as true, you just come back to that decision. Yeah, that's not true. Yeah, that's not true. When things happen or come up, yeah, that's not true anymore. That's not who I am. And the faster you drop it, the faster shit will change in your life. And the more you see it, you can't unsee it. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. You're used to just letting your brain do whatever it wants and accepting whatever it pops into your head is fucking true. And now you're taking your power back and realizing the only reason that's true is because you're accepting it as true. Seen a lot of assumption coaches over the past few years, and I think you're one of the better ones. I like how simple you make it. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I try to make it simple. I honestly just want to be the person I wish I would have found. With none of the bullshit, making it super fucking simple. Being the one who's willing, I guess, to say things like it's just whatever you tell yourself is true, instead of being married to all of the terminology of what Neville used to say. Yes, I use that terminology because people are familiar with it, but it's like living from the end is literally just what you're telling yourself is true. Yes, I like how simple Sonia and Sammy Ingram make it. I I want it simple. I just want it, it is so simple. And once you have that light bulb moment, you don't go back. You're like, "Oh, I get it now." There are no limits, there are no competition. We are the source of our reality, and believing something or someone else has power is just an illusion. Yeah, it is. Oh, that's sweet. Thank you so much for being here for us. Can't tell you how many coaches take money and fearmonger. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they do. I don't, that's, no. I don't want to do that. It's crazy how many coaches have lots of courses and they make a mint. My courses are free here on YouTube. Manifestation 101, you can go watch it right now on YouTube. It's like 37 parts. Hi. And hello. Yeah, I am about to get off of here this time. I know that Yara, I hope I said your name right. I am about to get off here because my phone is about to die. So, but Jack settled down, so I stuck around. But yeah, my manifesting 101, I talk about everything law of assumption, all of the terms, what they actually mean. It's here on YouTube. And then way back when, like in August, I did Create Your Manifestation Lifestyle, which is a quote unquote process for manifesting. And I'm at, like, right now I'm not offering coaching. I'm not working. I refuse to get a job. Money always shows up. Thank you so much. When is the next time you'll do a live? I don't know, Gabby. I am in this, like, I'm just following my intuition and being present, so when I feel like it, I may end up with a schedule. I don't know. We'll see. Also, your bluntness reminds me of Indigo Detry. I don't know who that is. Gotta go. Thanks, Sonia. See you again soon. Bye, all. Bye. You're welcome. Oh, got a thunderstorm going on here, too. Uh-oh, is that scary, Jax? Like, oh, mommy. All right, any last questions? And then I am going to get off of here because my phone is about to die. Manifested my SP in 7 days after binge watching your videos. What? You are one of the best coaches, sweetie. Ruth, that is fucking awesome. Congratulations. And I am so glad that I got to be a part of that journey. That is amazing. Of course you're that fucking good at this. Because once it clicks, it's like, I get this now. I can do anything. You should watch her manifestation videos just as blunt, not watch her, like, check her out. Yeah, I get comments sometimes about my bluntness and how I come off as rude and mean. And I'm like, I guess the truth hurts sometimes. Someone is mowing their yard in the thunderstorm. Yeah, that rudeness is what made it click for me. Look, I come on here from a place of love, truly wanting you guys to understand, saying it the way I wish that somebody would have just said it to me. Straightforward and to the point. And I know depending on where you are, it can be like harsh sounding, but I'm not trying to be a bitch. I'm trying to help you. Guys, don't want to be the person who just complains, but I found out today that my SP has a 3P and I'm devastated. No, they don't. If you are happy together, there is no 3P. that is their cousin or just a friend, or that wasn't true, that's not what happened. You're accepting what you are experiencing as a fact, and now there's something to be devastated about. Not that you can't have your human moment and feel bad about it, but this doesn't mean shit unless you're accepting it as what's going to happen. And that you're not getting what you want. Oh, this means I'm not getting what I want. That's bullshit. I think you just come off as straightforward. Listen, I come on here as my authentic self, and if you don't like me, I truly don't care. That's truly my feelings at this point in my life. There are billions of people on this planet. There are, and I don't even know how many people speaking on this topic. If you don't like me, go listen to somebody else. You don't have to watch me. Hi, everybody. Hello. I like you the way you are, Sonia. I like me the way I am too. It's been a lot of work on myself to get me comfortable with myself, and I love who I am, and I am proud of myself, and I am content not being for everybody. I don't care. Like, whatever. All right, guys, I've got time for like a couple last questions, and I do got to jump off here because I don't have much more battery on my phone. Yeah, I wasted years with the coach who just coddled me and sugarcoated everything, and I made zero progress. Yeah, that was... There's times when it's like I needed a little bit more of a gentle kind of, but at the end of the day, I needed someone who was going to kick my ass. No. Pull your head out of your ass or don't, but it's all you, and what you're telling yourself is true. Never try to be someone you are not. Oh, I did that for years. Years and years and years and decades. No, I don't do it anymore. Today I had a thought that I might have had my SP on a pedestal, then I remembered Sonia taught me better and said, no, I don't have him on a pedestal. Yeah. You only have him on a pedestal if you think that you do. And the only way you have him on a pedestal if you're like, oh, they're so much better than me, they wouldn't want me. Bullshit. Thank you so much. You're welcome, love. Your confidence is fire. I love you already. Oh, thank you, Ruth. I did not used to be confident at all. I was so not confident. And I worked on my confidence in like the 3D ways for a long time. You want to know what changed my confidence the most? Telling myself I'm confident. When you're used to accepting bad things your whole life, how do you make yourself accept the good things as easily? Feels like imposter syndrome sometimes. You do it anyway. You realize it's a fucking choice. I can keep thinking this bullshit, or I can think whatever I want to. Yeah, you're going to feel like an imposter. Yeah, it's going to feel weird. Yeah, it's going to feel all kinds of shit, but it's a choice. And once you see it for what it is, you're going to choose what you... I always think of the end scene of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. It's like he chose poorly. Don't do that. What is your opinion? What happens when you start manifesting an SP? You know, the first thought, for example, I have a problem with my boss, but I start to think he loves me. I am the best employee. That's all you have control over, is you tell yourself that they love you and that you're their best employee. And that's what they're thinking. And you don't worry about the rest. Who gives a fuck? You're trying to control shit that is out of your control. Tell yourself what you want to be true and let go of the rest. I had somebody on here on one of my other lives I did recently. They were like, I started thinking at work one day, I'm worried everyone thinks I'm stupid and blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, yeah, I changed it to everyone thinks I'm so smart and wonderful. And she's like, my boss came to me and was like, you're smart, aren't you? And it instantly changed. Got it? How to deal with SP when he's not acting how he should. Should I ignore it or call him out? I do not tell people how to live their fucking life. You need to realize that their behavior is all you. How you're thinking. You need to take a look at you before you try to do shit with them. If you need to set a boundary, do so. But the fact that you're like, they're not acting the way they should be acting means you need to be checking your mindset. Sonia, I'm scared of continuing to manifest him and disappoint myself. How can I pretend I didn't see him with someone else? You tell yourself that that someone else wasn't who you thought they were. You tell yourself that never happened. You just imagine what you want to be true instead. Whatever you tell yourself is true is true. If you keep giving that bitch or whoever fucking rent-free space in your head, you're the one doing that. If you are happy with your SP, this is not a problem. You need to look at why this is such a problem and why you can't just let it go. You need to practice manifesting so that you better understand how shit actually works. Because you're being too logical. Could this be manifested because of my low self-concept? It could be. That's why you need to look at what you're telling yourself. Oh God, yeah, I went to therapy for social anxiety for years and it hasn't worked. It feels forced. It's my next manifestation. Oh, I had social anxiety for years, all the things. What changed it all was changing my mindset and viewing the way I view myself. Yes, thank you. He thinks I'm super smart, I'm the best, I'm the most important, I'm the most talented. Yep. Love, tell yourself you're the only one your SP loves and wants. Yeah, I've heard stories of people being like, nope, that was just their cousin or their lesbian friend or their whatever, and that's what ended up being the case. Like, it was nothing. One thing that helped me is you're coming back to the decision you made. Yeah, this is my decision, and my brain's trying to tell me otherwise, and it looks like it's the opposite, but nope, I'm God, I'm the operant power, I'm the one who made the decision, and that is what is true in my reality. The best affirmation for self-concept to feel worthy, in my opinion, I mean. I'm worthy, I'm enough. Depends on what you're telling yourself. I don't want my SP anymore, but I keep seeing videos saying I can change them and be happy. I don't want to anymore. Has this ever happened to you? What happens to me is none of your business. If you don't want your SP, then you don't have to have them. You don't have to change anybody. You can just decide you want a whole new person. You're not here to fix things. You're here to get what you want. So what do you actually fucking want? This person to act the way you want them to, or do you want somebody different? That's a you problem. Because I feel the I am worthy is not that enough. I think everyone is individual and needs to figure out what works for them. I'm already realizing that my self-concept is very low because I always thought that he would choose another better than me, and today all this manifested. Well, then you know what the problem is and how to fix it. The answers you're looking for are in that comment right there. You are always chosen. You are more than enough. You are the absolute best of the best. And it's going to feel fucking uncomfortable when you start telling yourself that. But you're going to do it anyway. How to work on self-concept, where to start. For me, the first self-concept I did before I even knew I was doing it was telling myself I am enough. When I learned about self-concept and realized how much I hated about myself and wanted to change about myself, I realized I could just tell myself I'm perfect and drop the rest of it. So whenever I have thoughts of I'm not good enough, I'm too stupid, I'm not pretty enough. No, I'm perfect. Everyone loves me. I have a perfect self-concept. We were a gay couple and his family is religious, so I always thought that a girl would be better than me for him and his family. Well, then you manifested it perfectly. You have to be proven right. It's that fucking simple. Why can't you be happy together and his family accept you? You're God, you're the operant power, you're the one creating your experience. Whatever you tell yourself is true is true. It's literally that simple. And you just proved yourself that. So how you manifested this, you can manifest anything that you want. Use it as a learning experience. At least this situation made me believe more that my thoughts manifest. Exactly. Laugh out loud. Thank you. I needed to hear it. You're welcome. All right, guys, I got to get off here. My phone is about to die. So, it's been so fun hanging out with you. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and I will see you soon. Love and light.